Hey, Miguel Adorati back here on the Cage Rage podcast, and we're into another one of our Wage Rage. We're looking at MMA, and it's not Bellator and it's not UFC. We've got the ONE FC out of Singapore. It's actually in Tokyo with a major card, making a splash here, trying to get this fight card a lot more publicity than they're usually able to get for one. Eddie Alvarez is on the card, former UFC champion. Second former UFC champion, Demetrious Johnson, with that whole trade for Ben Askren thing going down. Demetrious Johnson popping up, fighting in Tokyo this weekend. So the fights are Sunday, March 31st. It's listing as a pay-per-view. You want to check your start times in your local area, see what time it's going to be shown in your area, and if it's going to be shown, because with the time difference, you'll probably be watching results for the fights anyway. But anyway, they have about 12 fights on the live card, 2 title fights at the top, and we've got odds for about 6 of the fights, so that's pretty good. ONE FC putting together a quality event. A lot of the names won't resonate, but there are definitely some good fighters and some guys at the top of the card with some drawing power. So let's see what we got here. Lightweight action at 3 rounds. Eddie Alvarez, minus 675 favorite as he takes on Timothy Nastyukhin. Nastyukhin, man, I remember his name has the word nasty in it, so I remember he actually had a very nasty knee knockout at some point in his ONE career. He's going to be taller than Eddie, obviously, so definitely something to keep an eye on there. It's 2 guys with some knockout power. Alvarez, big favorite, minus 675. Nastyukhin, plus 425. Moving up the card, flyweights, and that's 125 pounds. You got DJ Demetrious Johnson, minus 1,800 favorite against Yuya Wakamatsu. Wakamatsu paying back at plus 880. This isn't a surprise for me. Johnson, I think, is going to get a lot more respect, especially at the books with the opponents they're going to put in front of him over there. I think also, it shouldn't go without noticing that there is a conflict of interest there. I mean, Matt Hume's a good man. I don't suspect that it's going to be blatant that he's going to take care of Demetrious Johnson, but they have a relationship. He trained him, and, he's the matchmaker. So you tell me, DJ at minus 1,800 on there. Featherweights, more featherweight action. You got Bibiano Fernandes, who's a Brazilian, who's been a long time on the scene with in Japan with ONE and things like that. We haven't seen him stateside in the UFC. He's based out of Vancouver, actually, Bibiano Fernandes, or at least at one point in his career he was. He's at minus 155 favorite as he takes on Kevin Bellingham, one of the talents for the Philippines that has been developing on the ONE roster, and very exciting fighter, so definitely one to keep an eye on there. And the fact that I guess a jiu-jitsu stud like Fernandez, he's only a plus 115 underdog, goes to show, either he's got a big following or he's closed the gap in certain spaces in terms of MMA technique and stuff. So we'll see how that goes. Moving up, we got light heavyweights, Ken Hasegawa, and taking on Aung La Nsang, and this is a flat minus 120 across the board, so you can call it flat, I guess. And, no favorites in this one, just pick 'em fight, basically. Flyweights, 5 rounds, Angela Lee, the ladies, she's a minus 275 favorite to hold on to her belt, and she takes on Jingnan Xiong plus 195 on that one. In the main event of the evening, in the welterweight division, Shinya Aoki been down at featherweight, been down at lightweight. Aoki, an ace, underdog in this one at plus 135 as he takes on Eduard Folayang. Folayang minus 175. Folayang, obviously, another one of the Filipino talents that we're talking about on the roster there. And, in terms of this fight here with Aoki, Aoki's the guy who everybody's going to know here. But Folayang has done his work, including a previous knockout win over Aoki that he executed back in November of 2016. Got to the 3rd round, so he stayed safe, and then finally scored the knockout in the early going. Folayang since then has done nothing but good work. He's got 4-1 since beating Ioki. Ioki, at the end of the day, 42-8 at this point in his career. He's got a no contest, so, I mean, it's at the point where at 35 years old, he's got to be slowing down in some way or at least making adjustments and can't fight the way he did when he was a 25-year-old, you know? And that, I think, is a little bit of what Folayang is maybe taking advantage of in this fight. And it makes it an interesting fight to look at. Definitely one where you're going to see guys that are outside the UFC's radar, but you can count on the fact that ONE FC and Matt Hume have been developing talent over on the Eastern Hemisphere there, and that Folayang and Ioki is a very solid main event and should be a lot of fun. I'm Miguel Durrani. We're the CRP. Those are the odds for the ONE FC's Sunday offering this March 31st in Tokyo. Eddie Alvarez and Demetrious Johnson making their ONE FC debuts.